Hey y'all, welcome to the Four Friends, where faith gets real
and we get loud.
I'm Becca, I'm a little crazy, welcome.
I'm Allison, very emotional, welcome.
I'm Emma, I have no filter, welcome.
I'm Lily, and I'm the overthinker, welcome.
Alright, so we just want to get into a little bit about why we started this podcast. Many of you listening, there's no one listening, but that's okay.
There will be soon.
Soon. We'll have someone.
Praying about it.
Yeah, we're going to pray about it. Why we started the Four Friends is because from the very beginning of our friendship, we've had real, raw conversations about faith, life, and everything in between. We wanted to create a space where others could join in on those talks where it's okay to not always be okay and to wrestle with tough stuff. Life won't always go our way, but it will go God's way, and we're here to navigate that together. Our hope is to build a community where people feel seen, encouraged, and reminded that they're never alone in their journey, which I think is a really awesome thing, coming from us, like, how we met and everything, which is a crazy, not crazy story, but...
Absolutely.
Yeah, like,
Go into it.
It's really cool. Get into it, Allison.
Well, we, first off, all met at church. Well, apart from Emma and I, since we're sisters. But, I mean, it was just one Sunday where I turned around and Becca was there. Introduced myself, which was me stepping out because not something I would normally do. But we started the young adult group at church and we needed people. So we were praying about it. God told me to turn around. I turned around, met Becca.
Fun fact, I had been sitting behind her for months.
Which
Not true.
is a lie.
Very true. I had been staring at the back of their heads for months.
Beautiful heads, must add.
But
Yeah,
the
they were
funny
great.
thing is, though, she didn't introduce herself to us.
I did not.
So-
I did not. I was scared.
Yeah, I was scared too, but we did it, and look where we are now. But we started that young adult group. A couple months after we started that, Lily came into our lives.
Hi.
We love her. And then as that went on, I mean, we just grew as individually friends and then as a group. Emma graduated high school, and that brought her into our young adult group as well. And now, since then, I mean, we've just been growing together with God and with each other. So it's pretty exciting where we all are.
Yeah, I love it. It's like so surreal, like to think that we're doing this. Like Allison said earlier, it made it out of the group chat.
Yeah.
Yes,
Usually it's a trip,
but
Yeah,
this
but
is not. This is
not.
life.
It's life. It's an
good.
experience. Like it's something cool that we get to do with each other. So a little bit about each and every one of us. I, Becca, if you don't know my voice yet, that's okay. I understand. Not everyone does, and that's okay. I grew up going to church my whole life. It's just always been a part of my life. I was saved at 15 at youth camp over the summer. You know, the usual. That's just how it be. I was really on fire for God, and then I hit a slump after I graduated high school, and I moved states because that's usually what happens. Something life-changing happens, drastic in your life, and you just hit a slump. And I got to this point where I just, like, finally started praying that, like, God would bring me friends, like, faithful friends, and, like, people that I can go along with in, like, my faith journey with. And that's when Allison turned around at church, which I think God's timing is crazy because I had been praying that for, like, 3-4 months by then. And I was just like, oh, my gosh, like, he just answered my prayer. And then from then, like, obviously, like, I didn't immediately get back into my rhythms and things, but I'm getting there. We're getting there. I'm married to my little high school sweetheart. Not little. He's not little. Anyways, my high school sweetheart, we're married. It's chill. We have a fur baby. No real babies yet. Maybe eventually, but not
Soon.
right now. No. No.
You're going to have twins.
No. Twins. I love twins.
Love when Lily comes in.
Yeah. They really want me to have a child because.
Child. Why not?
Child. It's not time
Children.
yet. It's not time. I'll tell you when I'm ready.
God will tell you when
Okay.
it's time.
God will tell me when it's time. You're right, Lily. All
And
right.
He said
Calling
summertime
me out.
is when it's starting.
Anyways, so we just really this has been a dream of mine to start a podcast, and the fact that I get to do it with my best friends and talk about Jesus, like, what more could you ask for? So anyways, that's a little bit about me. Yeah.
Okay. It's Emma here. I also grew up in the church home, always dad was a pastor, youth pastor, everything you could do in a church, he did it. Grew up around that, and I loved it. I got saved and baptized when I was 12, and I've just been going since then. I was on fire, straight up, really, really burning, sharing God's love to everyone around me, and then I lost a lot of my close friends senior year, people who I literally had my whole childhood with, lost them, and I went downhill, and I was just in that valley, and I've been in that valley kind of since then. But the past several months since I graduated, it's almost been a year, which is insane. Absolutely insane. I think I've been in group for almost literally insane to the brain. I think I've actually been in group for a year now, coming up next month, because I started early. But I was just praying for friends, godly women to be in my life, and some prayer warriors, and I think he answered that, and now I think I'm starting to be back on fire with the Lord. Yeah, so that's me.
All right, well, I guess that is me. I am Allison. That's my voice.
Wow.
Once again, yes, also grew up in the church. As Emma said, our dad pretty much did everything from lead pastor to, he even did children at one point. I got saved in July or August. Can't remember it was end of the summer there, in between freshman year and sophomore year. I was getting there, of high school. Yeah, of this year.
I don't remember that.
Girl, why you lying?
I do not remember that.
And I was on fire for God then too. But then I was actually in a relationship for 6 years, and he was not a godly man. Didn't even have the same Christian values. He was a great guy. It's just not the same values and beliefs, so that made it hard for us. And God, I just turned away from him pretty much. It was really bad for me. Not on fire, I wasn't there. I was just going to church to say, yeah, I went to church, I got my little study time, whatever. But then I actually started praying, listening to God, and he told me that I needed to get out of that relationship. So I did. It's actually almost been a year in April that I have been single now. And that was tough as it was. To get out of a relationship for 6 years, that's all I knew. But once again, God provided, because we started that young adult group. And that's when I was really praying about that relationship. And then once I actually started listening to God, key thing there.
Listen.
Yes, listen. Don't just hear, but truly listening to him
listening.
and yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I ended that, but that made me closer to you guys. Actually, every single one of
It
y'all.
also like from an outsider looking in, made your relationship with God so much
yes,
stronger.
so we can get into that too, because
Yeah.
then it was like, wow, my eyes were so open to what God was showing me and putting into my life, and all these things that he was just like clicking for me. And I was like, wow, okay, Becca, first off, like, she's going to be there for you. That's who's going to get out of this originally for you. She's going to be that rock for you. I was like, perfect. Then he said, boom, Lily, here's another friend for you. Lean into her because she's there for you too. And then it was like, okay, look, Emma's your sister, but I want y'all to be friends now.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for y'all to get close and to y'all to have a relationship that's just not like siblings. And so God put Emma on my heart too, and that got us all closer. But the thing is that I grew so much in my relationship with God that I truly put all of my trust in him, and just the faith that I have now coming out of that, amazing. I'm so on fire for God now. Like, it is amazing.
It's good.
Yeah. So I'm Lily.
Hi, Lily.
I haven't talked a lot yet. So my story is basically like pretty much as opposite of y'all's as it possibly can be.
And that's okay. That's okay.
That's good.
So when I was a little kid, like probably before elementary school, my mom had tried to get us to go to church a couple times, but my dad, he grew up like his grandmother was like West Texas raging Baptist. You're in church every time the doors were open. So my dad felt like it had always kind of been shoved down his throat. So as an adult, he just didn't see the point in going, didn't want to. So then my mom had kind of given up on taking us as a family, because she's like, oh, if we're not all gonna go as a family, like, what's the point? Which that can be taken multiple different ways. But anyway, so I went like my whole childhood without really going to church. And then my parents got divorced, I think, in 2014. And then like we had moved out and I was in middle school at the time, and my mom randomly woke me up one day on a Sunday and she was like, "Get up, we're going to church." And I was like, "Why?" So like we had bounced around several different churches, and I didn't really get the Sunday church thing at the time because it wasn't all that interesting. And when you've never grown up in church, you just kind of like, why am I here? So it wasn't until, I don't know, maybe a year later or so when my friend, and we were in middle school, my best friend at the time, she invited me to come to youth group with her. And then that's when I started actually going. And then I had a boyfriend at the time, and I know it's like middle school relationship, but we started dating at the end of 8th grade, but it lasted for like 13 months. So all of freshman year, but it was like this guy was really bad. He was into all of these bad things and like constantly kept my head like full of nonsense. And then like after we broke up, I went to youth camp that year, and then that's when I got saved at youth camp when I was also 15. So it was just kind of like a whirlwind for me, where it was like I had been through so many bad things, and it was just kind of like I had thought about God, but I didn't know God. But then it kind of just all clicked, and it was like, well, something got me through all of this, and it wasn't me. So it was like honestly so refreshing to be able to turn and realize like you don't have to carry it all alone. That's what God is there for. And then so the rest of high school, that was summer between my freshman and sophomore year. So after that, I got deeper into church, and my whole friend group was had pretty much was going to the same church, so we were all really close. And then in college, my college experience was an experience. I had a bunch of health issues freshman year, and then it was like I had gone to what I thought was my dream school, and then it was like the more I'm in it, I'm like, do I really want to be here? Like the degree plan was not working out like I thought it was, and classes weren't. So I decided to transfer to another school and finish online. And so now it's just on like plan C, still just trying to figure out what life is supposed to look like. But like I'm so grateful to have you guys and have everybody to lean on and definitely grow closer with the Lord. And then just this past 2-3 months has been like crazy, just being in the Word every day and just growing closer to God and just really learning that I don't have to do it on my own anymore. And like that's what He's here for.
Exactly. Lily also did not mention that she full on started a whole business. Wow.
Oh,
she
yeah.
did.
She did.
Like,
Should we go around and say what we do as our jobs?
my
I didn't
gosh.
think about that.
Wow. Wow. Hi, this is Becca. Fun little fact about me. I 23 years old. Still struggling with what I want to do with my life. Podcasting is what I want to do right now.
We're doing it.
Right this very moment.
But I am a middle school librarian. I love it. It's fun. But I also have a part-time job working at our church. I am the assistant for creative and worship. So I just help out all things with that, social media, photography, videography, all that jazz. It's super fun. I also really love that. I have come to really enjoy it. So that's a little bit what I do.
Once again, it's Allison. We're just gonna keep on doing this until you get our voices right, I guess. Funny. Emma and I actually work at the same place.
We do.
We legit see each other like 24/7.
With our mommy, our mama.
Office manager.
Mommy.
Let's go. We work at a pediatric dentist in Plano, Texas. Shout out Smile Island Dental for all of our one listeners.
Dr. C.
No, I work at the front desk. Insurance coordinator. I do everything pretty much that entails for the front. So fun. Love that. And then when I'm not working, I'm at home.
The reason why that took a moment was the RV just shook a lot.
Fun fact, we are recording in an RV right now.
And it was
where
shooken.
I live, and it shook a little, so either my husband was walking or the dog was
When
walking.
Becca looked up, it made me look up,
I'm
and I
sorry.
was like, what are we
I
looking
didn't mean
up
to
at?
scare everyone.
It's okay.
Yep, okay, yep. Emma, you're up.
I work at the same place with Allison, as she said, and I am a registered dental assistant. So I assist the doctor. So much fun.
So you're an RDA?
I am.
Wow, I've never heard of that until just now.
Really?
Really?
Oh, me too.
I really didn't know that was a thing.
Yes, an RDA, a registered
registered
dental
dental
assistant,
I
and
didn't know that was a
of the
thing.
state of Texas, obviously.
Slay.
Not everywhere, but yeah. And then I work up front as well. Occasionally I'll answer phones, but now I just am straight and back. It's fun. I love it. Yeah.
So I'm Lily. I am in my senior year of college, so almost done with that, thankfully. I am also working on my teacher certificate to teach little high schoolers. So when I was in high school, I was in like the floral design class, and then I kind of did that on the side, and I did balloons, like balloon arches for parties and stuff. And then so many people kept telling me like, "Oh, you're good at this. Oh, you should start a business." So, February of 2024, so a year ago, I did start my own business. So that's been fun, up and down for sure, but that's definitely been fun. And I've done like a lot of flowers for weddings, and that's becoming more of like a side gig. I'm not pursuing it as aggressively anymore because I want the stable paycheck. So right now plan A is going to be teaching. I want to teach either like business classes or go back and teach the floral classes because I definitely like more of the career-based stuff. But yeah, that's the current plan.
What can we expect? Like, what are we gonna be talking about? Anyone want to lead?
Yeah,
on that?
I mean, I feel like we're just gonna be talking like how we normally do. First off, we like just serious conversations, like our everyday conversations when we text very randomly at sometimes
Yeah.
and very random things. Like
Yes.
we're gonna be talking about our relationship with each other, our relationship with Christ, how we're involved in all different aspects. We have our college ministry that we're all in together, obviously, how we're involved in the church, just how God's moving in our lives and what we are doing, and just like some fun little things
Yeah.
here and there, like random stuff.
We'll get into the nitty gritty too.
Yes.
Because that's life.
Absolutely.
Nobody's perfect.
Nope.
Life
Ups,
is
downs.
not perfect. Like
Yes.
for sure. Like it can get ugly. Like
Yes.
But God still loves you.
but God loves you.
But
He's
God's
there.
here.
He's
That-
got you.
Exactly.
He's
Yes.
got you. Don't even worry about it. And that's kind of like what we're gonna get into. Lots of laughter.
Lots
Yes.
of
It
laughter.
will get loud, like we say in our intro. It will get loud.
We
Like,
will be loud.
No doubt about it, and that's okay.
Singing.
It's all about balance.
Yes.
Like we love a good balance, having fun.
That is very
One
true.
thing you'll learn on this podcast is me and Emma have
Just
the-
laugh.
One thing about
We-
no.
We
cut
are.
that out,
We're the
sorry.
meanest, actually.
Yeah, we are.
We're horrible.
We are.
So
We're bullies.
I hope you're ready.
That's a fact. They are both bullies.
Yeah.
I get bullied by them often. It's
okay. Don't lie.
Don't lie. Don't lie. Who gangs up on me and Becca? Piper and Allison.
Piper and Allison.
Piper and Allison.
Somebody has to
He-
stick up for
her-
him, okay?
no.
He can't stick up for
No.
himself.
No. You're taking that out of context.
Allison and my
There was
husband.
nothing to stand up for.
Anytime
Well, wait.
we're
Careful
all
how you
together.
word that.
Yes.
Allison and my husband.
Well, they need to
Well,
know that
they have
Piper
to
is
know
my
that Piper's her husband.
Yes.
Allison and my husband Piper. Piper.
Yeah.
They anytime we're all together, we're all together when this happens. Just so Allison's sake, since she's like, careful how you word that. When we're all together,
Yes.
Allison and Piper gang up on me and Emma.
Yes, and that's how it starts. There's no standing up for Piper. He's a big boy. He
No.
can stand up for himself.
And
They
honestly,
come at us.
We won't even go after him. He just
Literally.
automatically is going
Yep.
after us.
Yeah. And then
that's just how it goes.
Allison
Maybe he
and they
feels
just
like that's the
do
only
it together.
time he gets to go after y'all.
It is very
No!
it is very
Do you
funny.
go
live
after
with
him?
him.
Do you go after
He
him
roasts
often?
me
then?
all the time.
I don't see that. I'm
Well,
not
well.
with you all the time.
You know what? I believe you, Becca.
Okay, I got a question.
Yes.
How
Go
is
ahead.
faith and like your relationship with God a part of your everyday life?
That was good.
Juicy.
I mean, lately I just talked to him about everything.
Slay.
I think that's just the season I'm in.
Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Like, you should
Yeah.
always be doing that. But it's like, sometimes you're just like kind of in a mood and you're like, God, like, what's going on right now? Why am I in this mood? Why am I feeling this way? I was doing great earlier. Like, what's going on? Or just like, hey, God, what is my next step? Or, hey, I have these aspirations, but like, is this really your plan? That like, is this in your will? Is this what you want me to do? And then just everyday things, just like getting through the day. It's sometimes you just need that encouragement, but he's always there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I would say praying through things a lot. Like I'll wake up in the morning and I'm like, I already, gotta set your mind on him because he's the joy, he's the light. I mean, so really just kind of putting him first, but just praying through things. When I find something tough at work or if I get annoyed, just literally praying through it and putting him first, and then sharing that like light with others around me.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. But also, like, mine, it would be, like, when I'm having a tough day, like, worship. Like, worship, like, the music. I'm big on music. So, anyways, worship is one of my big things. So, like, I'll be having a terrible day. Like, if a kid is just being awful to me, it happens as a librarian. Like, they don't care who they're in front of. They're going to be mean to you if they're in a bad mood. So, I can be having the worst day, and I'll literally just go into my library and start blasting worship music and just singing to Jesus, because that is what gets me through the day.
Yeah, actually, I would agree. I mean, I think, well, one, I mean, I start my day off in the Word automatically, and that sets, like you said, it sets the mood for your day. It puts you in that joy already that He has for us. So start my day off in the Word, and then prayer time obviously is a big thing, especially like throughout my day. I feel like I just find myself like just random little times at work, just sitting at my desk. I'm like, okay, God, let's refocus. Let's like you're here. Like, let's do this. And then for sure worship, but music, I mean, huge thing anytime anyways, but worship music, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. You know what we
even
didn't
talk
talk
about
about?
why we're named the Four Friends?
Why are we named the Four Friends?
Legitimately what
Okay.
we should talk.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay, so for the Four Friends, when would you say, like 2-3 months? Okay, well,
Yeah, I feel like it'd be like probably 3 months ago.
3 months ago. Yeah. Okay, so starting off, obviously there's 4 of us. There's 4 of us.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Yep. And if one of us is gone, there's still 4 of us because Jesus is hanging out.
That's right.
Anyways, so this is based off of the Bible story, of the 4 friends taking their 5th friend to Jesus, physically lifting him up, putting him through the roof.
Yep,
That
tearing the
always
roof off.
sounds so weird.
Yeah,
They
literally.
tore the roof
They tore the
off
roof off for
and
him.
lowered him down.
Yeah, it always
By
sounds so
their
weird
faith.
to
By
me
their faith.
Yeah.
whenever I say take the roof
Yeah,
off.
take the roof
Yeah,
off.
take the roof, yeah.
They
They blew the roof off that place.
The roof off. With their faith, bro.
Their
With
faith.
their
Their
faith.
With their faith, and they brought their friend to Jesus, and
Yes.
like we love the idea of like there's 4 of us,
Mhm.
and you, our friend listening, we're gonna bring you along with us,
Yes.
and we're gonna bring you to Jesus, and that is the kind of concept of this whole thing. Now a little more into depth of why we landed on that name.
It's like literally God, like God literally gave us that name. Like, so it started like 3 months ago. I don't know, was that at church? I think it
Podcast was a joke.
started.
Yeah, podcast was a joke.
It was
Yeah.
it was a joke. No, it actually started off with Dad, the young adult. It started there
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, the first
then,
one, and
the
then
first Sunday is he brought it up in group that night and was talking about we were talking about the 4 friends and we were all like,
we really
hey
like that.
guys,
two,
That's-
three, four.
Like,
we
that's
looked at
without
each other.
saying
Like,
it,
without
but, like,
saying it,
that
we
was
all looked
us.
at each other like that's us. Like we are the 4.
Right.
And then I think it was like maybe 2 weeks after that.
I think only a
think it was
week.
like
No,
the
I think
following
the
week.
following
it was the following week. It was
Okay.
at church. Brad, our pastor, just mentioned it, or something like that about the 4 friends.
I'm pretty sure we all turned to each other
We
at
did.
church that Sunday too.
And
we were all
then
just like,
the next week we went to Phil Wickham's concert,
Yes,
and he brought up the,
The
4
4
friends, and
friends.
we're all like, hey,
Yes.
like this is
This is
God.
This is, like,
And then a week
crazy.
after that, I think I brought up again. I think it's just consistently being brought up
Yes.
the 4 friends,
Mm-hmm.
and we're like, I think this is God telling us something while we were still just joking around about the pod.
Yes.
Yes.
And then whenever we decided, oh my gosh, we should just do it. Because what's it going to hurt? It's not going to hurt anything
Literally.
to spread Jesus' word. Like, it's not going to
Yeah.
hurt anything to spread the light of Jesus.
exactly.
Right.
Not. So we were going through names, and then
It's like the 4 friends.
4 friends.
Like, yeah,
Like,
let
that's
us be
us.
the 4 who bring you to Jesus.
Yeah,
even
with
even
our
if you're
faith.
With our
already
faith.
with Jesus,
Yeah.
like the point is like for us to uplift you and show you're not alone in whatever you're going through,
exactly.
even if it's the good times, if it's the bad times. It's another thing that has been brought up a lot recently that I think we can all like attest to is being in the valley, and that's when you hear from God the most.
Yes, being
For
in the
real.
valley, but seeing the flowers grow on the
Exactly.
mountaintops.
Yes.
Yes.
Ugh.
Like that is something that we heard last week
Mhm.
in service.
Yes.
I don't know if y'all talked about it Sunday night
Oh.
or heard anything about it. Like
It was so. I mean, just so good. Whenever I think he
Yes.
said it. I think he said it 2 weeks in a row.
I think so too.
Word a little differently, but yes, when we're
Yes.
in the valleys, you can see how beautiful
Exactly.
the mountaintop is. Like the flowers are growing, everything's beautiful. It's all
Exactly.
growing, but you see that from the valley. But when you're on the mountaintop, you don't see it.
You
You're
don't
not.
see it.
It's like you're almost not grateful.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And then I heard it again today
Mhm.
on another podcast. It was Ginger I never said their last name right. Ginger
okay.
and Jeremy Volo. They're at the 19 Kids and Counting. You'll
Yes.
know. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anyways, their podcast, Joy. They had Joy on the podcast, and she like talked about going through this time of question. Y'all should really go listen to
Okay.
it. Go
We'll
listen to
do.
it.
We'll do.
But she's talking about going through this time of like not questioning God, but asking questions, because of all the things she was taught in her childhood. And she said, when you're in the valley, like that is when you hear from him the most, and that
Yes.
is when you are focused in on him. And I just thought, oh my gosh, like that has come up so much in these past like couple weeks. And I
Right.
thought that's crazy. I'm like, okay, what are you telling me?
Yeah.
little
That
silly.
and then like waiting and the waiting period.
The waiting.
How
The
often has the
Don't
waiting?
waste the wait.
Literally, don't waste the wait.
How many
That is
times?
it.
How many
That
times have we
and-
heard that?
That and the word abide. I've heard it.
Yes.
It's literally on your
on your
shirt.
shirt.
But I
Literally
have
on my
Tell
shirt.
me about it.
I had like the day you and I were joking about the coffee shop, and I think
Yeah.
like somebody said like the word abide, and then
Abide.
I've heard it like literally probably every other
Exactly.
day since then, and
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And I feel like
but just
it's all connecting. Like I feel like
Yeah.
everything that we're talking about, I feel like it's seriously just connecting. Like it's just crazy. Like I feel like God just is doing something, and I really
he
do.
is. He is, and we
And-
can see him moving.
Exactly.
Yes.
We're not gonna reach millions. We're not.
No.
We may not even reach thousands. But like,
right. And sorry,
no, go ahead.
no,
go.
but like I saw something where it's like on social media we get so caught up in I need to have so many amounts of likes or whatever, but literally if your post gets 20 likes, can you imagine if 20 people in person gave you a compliment?
I saw
Right.
that.
So
yeah.
if we have one monthly listener on Spotify,
Exactly.
Look,
that is one
exactly
person.
that.
Because here's the thing: we just need to reach one.
One.
Like, okay, God. I mean, legitimately, like that. He only cares. I mean, legit left the 99 to go after the one.
After the
Let,
one,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we don't need all of these. Like, let's just reach the one who needs to hear
Exactly.
us, who needs to have those friends to build them up.
Not
and to
only
bring them
that,
up.
like another thing I saw was, okay, you got 20 likes. Okay, you got 200 views. Okay, but think about it this way. Could you stand in front of 200 people and say what you did in front of them?
That's good.
No, you couldn't.
Mm-mm.
They're getting to see and hear what you're saying without you actually having to be in front of them
Mm-hmm.
and worry about
What they think.
saying the right
Yeah.
thing, like
Yeah.
looking okay. Like you just get to say what you want to say, and they're gonna see it regardless,
Yeah.
and it's not gonna hurt you at all.
Yeah.
No.
And I love that. Like we're just getting
Yeah.
Conversating.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw a
Yes.
TikTok this morning that was literally saying like you may be the only version of the Bible that somebody hears.
exactly
Like somebody who doesn't know God, like if the way you act and the way you live out your faith, if God's given you a calling, like if you can live that out, you may be the only version of the Bible that they see
Right.
until they meet God.
which is so awesome. Okay, I do have a verse that I'd like to share. All right, Romans 12:4-8. Now as we have many parts in one body, and all the parts do not have the same function. In the same way, we who are many are one body in Christ and individually members of one another. According to the grace given to us, we have different gifts. If prophecy, use it according to the proportion of one's faith. If service, use it in service. If it's in teaching, use it in teaching. If it's in encouragement, use it in encouragement. Giving with generosity, leading with diligence, showing mercy with cheerfulness.
Speak on that. Yeah.
I love that verse. When I read it, I was like, wow, like it's so amazing. Like what we're doing is like we all have these different gifts, whether it's encouragement, it's praying, humor, which is not biblical, but here I am.
Yes, it is.
I think
They
humor.
they were funny people.
Okay.
Well, that's not an actual
Not an
spiritual
spiritual
gift.
gift, but
Um,
we'll move on from that.
I'm still working on finding my spiritual gift, and that's
That's
okay.
okay.
That's like the point of this verse is like we're all like strong in different areas, and like the fact that we get to come together and like do this is amazing, and it's like also an encouragement to others. Like find your community. You you should not walk in faith alone. Like have your
can't.
friends. Like it's hard. Like
It
there's
is
gonna be times where you cannot do it, and you need someone to say, "Hey, I got you."
Right.
Like that is so important, and I think that's something we've learned over the past year is like having someone to say, "Hey, I got you. It's okay." Like
Yeah.
it's okay to cry. It's okay to not be
Okay.
okay. Like, it's okay, and that's okay. And, like, obviously, like,
Yeah, I mean,
like, y'all have been with me in the past year. Like, I haven't gone through some of the struggles you have,
Right.
but I'm just waiting for that moment.
Yeah.
Because, when's the next shoe
so
gonna
you're
drop?
saying you're waiting
Yeah.
for that moment, but I'm praying for that moment not to happen.
And I'm
for you.
praying that it doesn't happen, but, like, but, like, that's life. And
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
gonna happen. And I'm
Yes.
so glad to have, like, these group of
People around you.
people around me
Yeah.
that are gonna be there for me if it does happen. And
Yeah.
that's so important. But that's just kind of what I wanted to share that versus because community. We found that community,
Mm-hmm.
and now we want to share that community.
Yes.
Which I think is so awesome. So
I also agree. That is so awesome.
Emma almost cried about it.
Okay, there's no proof
And
of
we
that.
thought I was the emotional one.
And there
just
is
saying.
proof. Emma, I will insert
There's
it right
proof.
here.
Insert here.
Please do.
Yeah, we will
Becca,
insert
Emma being teary-eyed right
Right now.
here, right now.
This is
I
so
really-
fun. Are we gonna cry?
I might. I'm like,
Honestly,
I
hold
see a
on.
tear
I see it.
rolling
Hold
from
on.
Emma's eyes. Like, she's so
I think just
excited.
'cause I'm laughing.
No, she's so excited. All right, we're so excited that you joined us today. Little sneak peek into next week. We will be doing Hearing God or Just My Own Thoughts. And that's going to be fun because I know, like, sometimes is it me or is it him?
Right.
I guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know.
She'll
But-
find out next week.
Yeah, we hope you will join us next week on the Four Friends where faith gets real
And we get loud.